Okay, my friends, this is going to be a very quick introduction to a very long story about how our Earth is constructed and how the chemistry works. This is Mount Spur in Alaska. I know it's my name, and the craziest thing happened is when I wanted to decide, I needed to find out what was the chemistry of volcanoes. I just put in, I forget what it was, chemistry of volcanoes or something like that. And the first thing that pops up is Mount Spur, because they had just done, or were doing in the middle of it. Goes from 2012, I think. Yeah, 2012. And that's when I was looking too. They were in the middle of doing this, and I got pretty heavily involved, because here's what I was looking for is down here. This is really right here. What is the chemistry? And, where is it, and I mean, it gets very detailed, so I didn't get a whole lot out of this other than the fact that it's just the same as a creature's body. So it has its same chemistry. Now, what is it? Why does it come out of a volcano? And we're talking about the one in Hawaii going off right now. That is a leaker. I call them a leaker. It just leaks. Doesn't explode. It a little bit, but not. It's mostly a leaker. Now, Spur is an exploder, and I'm going to show you that right now, and I'm going to show you why. Because it's a body part that explodes. Okay, like I said, this is going to get very long, so I'm going to do a really short one now. This is the anal duct of an avian creature or reptile. They have, or dog. They have scent glands and anal glands that squirt, attractive odors probably, mostly, but I don't know that for a fact, but they're ducts that squirt. Anal sphincter squirts them out. This one here is infected. Now, here's one on Earth that's infected, and this, whoops, not that one, that's mine. Mine's not infected, I don't think. This one is. This one here is Mesopotamia. This is where the Tigris and Euphrates meet. And that right there is an anus. This is infected. This one's fine. See how nice that one is? Remember I showed you on the other one how infected that other one was? This one here is perfect. Here's the anus right there where everything dumps out. And this one's infected something terrible. I mean, really bad. When you get in and look at it on Google Earth, it looks terrible. All right, so that is what that is compared to this. All right, see it? Now, this is from a human, so it doesn't have these ducts on the side. But this anus, you can see that see this here? Pay attention to this, because you're going to see this up on Mount Spur. And you're also going to maybe see some of this muscular tissue that surrounds it. Let's go take a look at that. All right, this is the rectum of Mount Spur. Well, actually, this is the fluid part of the rectum area. They have a cloaca. This, I believe, is muscle, and that, I believe, is muscle. And that pinches off that flow of fluids. Now, I'm going to back out of here. You see what it is? This is a lake of fluids that comes out right out of that thing. And these pinch it off, and I believe they're also glands. You see they run up into here? Now, whether they're just glands or they pinch this off, I don't know. But I see, if it's very interesting to see that they run right down to here. And they don't have any inflammation looking to them. But you see all these layers here? I believe that could be muscle layers that, well, push in and make them squirt or whatever they're going to do here now. But that is a cloaca means that you have poop and you have the urine type stuff, the fluids. And then they mix together, and then they go together, and they get dumped out. And in this case, they get dumped into Cook Inlet, which is over here. You see right there? All of that stuff gets dumped in. And you see at the very end, you see all this really gnarly looking stuff? That's what happens in a digestive system. Just before you poop, there's all kinds of chemistry going on in here to reabsorb all the different fluids. You see all this stuff? This is all reabsorption stuff. Look at how cool that is. Alright, and that goes right all the way back up. And this is the poop side, and that's where Mount Spur is. Mount Spur is right here. Hold on. Here's Mount Spur. Alright, when it goes off, it runs down like this. It runs around. It's on this side, and that's where this brown stuff is. You see the brown stuff? Alright, now, at the very end down here, I'm going to wipe this off so you can see, but you understand what's going on. That's the poop, and it runs down. And this is some other stuff that runs off. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It could be bile or something else. I don't know. But you see how there's a total separation between the two, the brown and this. And even now, it looks like there's a separation between three things. You see it? And it comes down here, and then eventually it works its way, excuse me, over to the fluid stuff, and then everything comes out together. You see, it's very intricate. If you want to get intricate, you can get intricate looking at this. All right, now, so let's follow back up the poop and see where it goes. All right, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, whoop, and then it goes up to Mount Spur, which is right there. That's where that comes down to brown. Now this comes up from here and another one from over there. Now where they're coming from, I'm not certain. Like, this is not human anatomy, guaranteed. But it's biology, also guaranteed. Now, and whenever you see all these different colors, like you always see a dark blue lake, see it? And you see these different colored greens and blues together. This is all chemistry of the body decomposing stuff. And again, I don't know how big this area was. I mean, the whole area up there is biology, so that's all I can say. And you know that we're talking about Scorpzilla. He runs all the way down to California. There's his head. Right. And right out of here is all his beard, is where Lake Crowley is, Crowley Lake. It's all these gigantic white hairs. They're as big as tree trunks. And there's just thousands and thousands of them all down. That's his beard. All right, there it is right there. That's where the poop comes out. These are the two glands. This one's perfect. See how nice it is and how clean and pristine, and it's just squirting out here, no problem. This one here is clogged up. You see these clogs? They're not supposed to be there. That's why it's so inflamed. And up here, I just drew it so you could see where to look. But remember the other one had a thing coming down? The same thing. See it? See it coming down? That's not supposed to happen. And this is not supposed to be inflamed like that. When I come up in real close and look at it on the map, it's on the Google Earth, it's terribly inflamed. I mean, inflamed as hell. And this is where everything's supposed to come out. But that is identical to what I just showed you over here. No difference whatsoever. Zero difference. Alright? Exactly the same. Identical little thing coming down, all inflamed, and this one being perfect. And there's the anus. Now I'm going to show you something. This is, I believe, the pupil of Scorpzilla's eye. Now you see these little round spots in here, all these little crazy looking things in the middle here. I believe that's Scorpzilla's pupil. And this is his whole eye. Runs up here. That's his whole eye, and that's the dead center pupil. Now, let's take a look at Hawaii. Alright, this is a regular eye. That would get all gnarly, I'm sure, at some point. It wouldn't stay nice and flat like that. This is the kind of stuff you see floating around on Scorpzilla's eye and the other eye down in Hawaii. Okay, this is the rectum of Mount Spur, and this is Dibitz 70 and Flying Alaska Mount Spur volcano. Here it goes. He's going to fly over there, and I'm going to show you the actual anatomy. Watch this. Alright, he's flying up over the top. Now, what I want you to look at is these stripes here. This is what the inside of a rectum looks like. They have those kind of stripes. You see it? Very similar to tendons, but they're strappy little stripes. All right, and when that thing went off, see it? Now you can see them pretty good. When that thing went off, whoo, it really went off. Now, as I'm examining this, I'm seeing all of these little swishes. Now, is that part of the pooping process? Each one of these is a little poop, or up here it looks straight. So is it just starting to wrinkle when it hits the bottom and show up as brown? I can see it's brown back here, but I don't see those wrinkle zones. All I see it is coming out as one strip, and when it hits the bottom it wrinkles over this way. So I don't think it has anything to do with cyclical pooping. But it is coming out of this area, right down from the Mount Spur, right there. So it's a continuous discharge? I don't know. At this point, I'm not sure what to think. It appears to be a continuous discharge. And then it appears that at the very bottom, it does the wrinkle. At first I thought, oh boy, it's pooping every 2 years or 10 years or something, but I don't think that's the case. And look at how separated these layers are. This layer from that layer from this layer. There's a stripe down the middle between all of them. What the heck is going on? That's the chemistry I'd like to see. What's this chemistry? What's that chemistry? What's this chemistry? And then, of course, what's the chemistry over here? Because this right here, these are like sphincter muscles. It pinched this off. I'm almost certain that. I mean, it sure as hell look like it. And then it comes down here, and you got another set down here. Whether those are muscles or what they are, I don't know. But this is all biology. And when it gets together, that's the cloaca. And don't forget, this is the one that looks just like the one in Mesopotamia. Except the one in Mesopotamia, that side is all infected. But it's the same architecture and the same sort of glands on each side. Only, like I say, that one there is really infected. Okay, so I'll leave you with the dragon killing the fish in the Sahara Ocean, which now happens to be the Sahara Desert. And that's that dragon, runs all the way across North Africa, and there's the giant fish that he was being attacked. This is just a fact. If you can't see it, I cannot help you. Okay, we're not going to be able to do a Zoom with Jim today, but he is the guy that really is, he's a senior environmental scientist. He understands the Earth as well as anybody in the mainstream, and he agrees that the things I'm showing need to be looked at. So that's what I'm going to do, watch him with Jim, and we can look together and see what makes sense and what doesn't. Now, I've shown you pretty good evidence that supports this abscess duct and all that stuff, the anus. The earth is covered with creatures. It's time to look at it and examine it, and then we'll discuss it. If it's wrong, it's wrong, but I don't think it's wrong. All right, so somebody get a hold of us so we can make this into a forum where everybody can comment and nobody has to feel stupid and laughed at all the time. Because that's what happens. The people that think they're so intelligent, they can't stand this. They just hate it, literally hate it. And I understand their position. It's kind of tough to find out that all of a sudden you were wrong all this time. And that's what people are telling me. Holy smokes, I never realized. And then you're never going to realize it until you stop and think. And then make up your own decision. But just to make up a decision before you see anything. It's just like I was talking to my brother the other day. I said, da, 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 da. He says, well, we're going to have to agree to disagree. I said, you never even looked at it. How could you disagree? He said, well, I don't have to look at it to disagree. I said, well, you could disagree, but it has absolutely meaningless. That's just nothing. That's just, I don't want to see it. So anyway, that's the kind of thing I've gotten basically straight across the board. The ones that say they've I looked, I know about all this stuff. Well, no, they didn't even look. Didn't even look. Okay, my friends, I'm going to leave it at that for today. Roger again, Mud Fossil University. I think I've shown you this exact thing on Earth, and I don't see it can be argued. I want some specialists. I want some experts. And I want somebody to, one of everything, because I do it all, so I don't have to bow down to anybody. Oh, I can't talk about that. I can't talk about that. Well, that's all you ever hear. Okay, so like I say, I'm pretty up on volcanoes, and this is Hawaii. Now, this is just a shape I saw just a little while ago. I haven't been searching this, so I'm not making any claims. I'm just saying this stuck out at me, and I'll erase this in 1 second. But this is a leaking volcano. This is not an explosive one, like the poop ones, because the poop ones build up huge amounts of gases inside, sealed off, and all of a sudden, poof, they explode, and they release in absolutely unbelievable explosions. These just sort of ooze out, and that's what's happening to this. Now, let me just release what, take away what I put on here. Now, you look and see what you think. I see these patterns, and I know that everything on Earth was alive at one time, so one way or the other, I don't know what it is. It could be just seeing clouds in the sky. I don't know. But this is where it's leaking out. Now, are these legs? I don't know. Is this a body where all the organs and all the tough stuff is that doesn't wash away like the fleshy, erodible stuff? This would be more muscly, red stuff that would run off. This would be where your ribs and the really structural stuff is, and organs and all that, which they stay. That's possible. I don't know. But when we look at this, I'm going to show you something very, very strange, hard to understand. All right, now look at that. That's just like a gash to somebody's head. That's all that is. This is nothing like the kind of volcano of Mount Spur, or the other ones that explode with, really pop. Those are organ systems that are all bound up. I believe this is the guy's head or something, or the head of some creature or whatnot. I don't know. It almost looks like it's a guy's head or nose. And it's like a vein. Right in here is where all your carotid artery and all that stuff comes down. And that looks to me like an eye. Remember I showed you the eye of Scorpzilla? It's almost exactly the same. You see that? All those little mounds? These are what you see in eyes. These are the same kind of stuff that's in eyes. And around the edges, you see all these little fibers? That's how eyes pull and move around. You see it right there? There's a dead center. Oh, there's little clouds, I guess. No, I guess they're buildings. But that's, let's see, we're up at 13016. Over here it's, holy smokes, 5316. It's a mile up there. Wow. This is 5,109 feet right here. 5,000, it's 5,000-ish. We get up here, it's 13,000. It's over a mile plus up here. This is a huge mound. That's an eyeball. All right, you saw Hawaii. I have no clue, just started looking at it. But I know quite well about Scorpzilla. And I know about Mount Spur, which is right there, which I'm telling you is the rectum. That is the scorpion pincher. And this tail is now it looks to me like they're like feathery sort of pattern. I'm not certain of that. His eyeball is right here. Wait till I show you what Lake Crowley is. They all had beards, and usually their hair, or they're like these really nasty looking, spidery looking webs, like the one in North Africa. I suppose I should show you that one, and also the one in on the East Coast is also a real spidery looking one. But this one has a different look to it. Let me show you what is at Lake Crowley, which is right there. Then we're going to look at well, let's look at this all in one piece first. And then I'll show you Lake Crowley. I'll try to show you the eyeball, the scorpion tip, and all that stuff. So here it is now with all my little doodles erased. Okay, gone. Now, this is where you're going to find Lake Crowley. All the stuff from Lake Crowley's right down in this area. All right. Now, his eyeball is right here, is what I'm saying. That's the center of his eye. Right here. Okay, and then all around this is the eyeball. All around here. All right, and this is basically his eyebrow. I mean, seriously, this is it right there. You see this? That's his eyebrow. Astronauts on space station open dragon and unpack new bone skin healing experiments. They're going to try to heal a dragon. Yo, good for them. Oh my God, what a world. Now, so here he is. This is his face. There's his eyeball, and it goes back, and there's his eyebrow. And here's his nose. They have a little bump on their nose. Now, it runs all the way back. All the way back. Right down here is his shoulder. You see, that's like a shoulder joint right there. I'm pretty sure. Now, if you really look close at the textures, I'm not sure whether they're scales or they're feathers, but they're one or the other, or they're both. Now, let me turn the big light off. Sometime I get a better, I don't know if that helps or not, but all of this stuff is biology. All right, these are not just hills and valleys. Now, as you go back, his back here, you see all the white looking stuff up there? That's up in the air, higher up in the air, and it's also some kind of biology. Now, what it is, I'm not certain. It looks like some kind of scaly looking stuff. I don't know, what do you make of it? Let's see if it'll settle into it. But it's, you see? I'm going to tell you right now, that's biology. You see that black and white right there? That's a vein and an artery. There's biology all over this thing. Now, as it comes over the back, let's just stay from perspective. Let's just go all the way around his back, back, all the way to the end of his body. His body ends up here. Now, where it goes down to here, I'm not sure, but I think all of this is part of his body. And this might be part of the body too. I'm not even certain where it ends, because usually I look for abrupt transitions like this. And I say, well, an abrupt transition normally indicates to me that we're going from one type of body tissue to another. And this is, to me, clearly not just normal weathering. All right, that's not normal weathering. This is some kind of body tissue. What it was, why it's feeding just like, you know, this exact way, I don't know specifically. But I can tell you what, that is not just normal weathering. All right, this has to be taken, really looked at deeply. And, you know, the more refined the pictures get, the more clear the thing becomes, what exactly it is. But anyway, this is part of his body. I'm like 99% certain of that. So away from here, all the way down, all the way around, all of this white stuff. Now, is this it too? I would think so. It sure looks like it to me. But I can't be sure. Again, going to take some time, going to take a little look, but that does not look to me like normal weathering. That's not, I mean, what would do that? And then you're going to see abrupt transitions here and there, which indicates to me that, like right here, what happened here? All of a sudden, just nothing here. This is it, and this, boop, no, something's going on there. So that's the end of some form of a tissue, a feather, or whatever it was. And then out here is whatever this is, I don't know. It's runoff of some other body or whatever. But whenever you see all these little branching things, that's not your normal, just runoff and accidental, you know, this is a body of biology, whatever it is. I don't know what the biology was. This could have been plants or whatever, but I'm telling you what right now, that right there is part of Scorpzilla. As far as I'm concerned, Scorpzilla runs all the way down, all the way around here, and I believe this is part of them too. But right here is the back, the rectum, and from here out is the tail, and there is the scorpion pincher right there, bang. And that, to me, I'm almost certain that's a pin, literally a pin that goes through a hole in this, and that can retract up in there. And here's the area where it retracts into, this area right here. You see it's all curved and all that. It can fold right into there. And that stuff will flap right up back out of the way, and that'll fold right into there. And when he gets between somebody he wants to hurt, he wraps that part around and lets that thing go, and done. Case is closed. Squirts all that nasty juice into him, and the thing dies. But in this case, it didn't work out so good for Scorpzilla. Now, I'm going to try to get Jim on the line, and we'll do a Zoom meeting. And I'm going to come in here and show you Mount Spur, which is up here. We're going to get into this. Here it comes. Okay, so this is it from now on. It's Mud Fossil Multiversity. We do everything. If you don't do everything, you don't do anything. Because you have some idea of something and then you just disregard it. No. If you don't follow this rule, you're lost. Well, you're lost unless you understand everything. Until you understand everything, you're lost. I don't care what you understand. You think you're a physicist and you don't understand biology or chemistry or anatomy or any of that stuff, you're just walking around in circles. So you got to be a multiversity type of person. And right now, I'm going to tell you right now, virtually every field is wide open because nothing that we were taught was right. In a macro sense, yes. In a micro sense, absolutely wrong. All the physicists have to start over again, completely over again, 100%. Biologists have to start looking at things totally different. About nucleophilic substitution continuously happening in your body. You have to start looking at bacteria, totally different, because that is the source of enzymes. Enzymes fix your body. They've got to start looking at geology, 100% different, totally wrong, 100% wrong. Space, 100% wrong. Nothing about space is right. It's saturated with particles. It's not an empty vacuum. The things that are in space are biology. All the astronauts say it smells like steak. After I come in from a spacewalk, my suit smells like steak. I've shown this in such detail that nobody in their right mind could stand in front of me and argue, and that's what's happened. Nobody is, because they are afraid to. They know that they've been misled and are now misleading. So it's time to stop this nonsense.